everybody. Welcome to the news you missed. I'm Paul Brooker, and I am joined by my co-host Warren Thornton today. Drew's a little bit under the weather, and Charlie's still travelling back from his Asia trip, where wow, he has been and seen a lot. Warren, how you doing?
I'm doing fine, thank you very much. Looking forward to the show.
Ah, brilliant. And what's your first story of the day?
Well, my first story of the day is to let everybody know that they're at it again. That's right. Here we have the National Endowment for Democracy. The people who overthrew Ukraine in the very first place, well, they're at it again. Their website is open. They are now come under the State Department, of course, but that is a bit of a problem if the State Department is run by somebody like Marco Rubio, who's actively working against Donald Trump. And the gentlemen, shall we say, at the National Endowment for Democracy have once again decided they're going to interfere in many countries, Serbia being one of them. And of course, we've all seen the riots that are happening there, Paul.
Wow. I mean, we all know about these NGOs and whatever crazy names they've got, UK Aid, USAID, you name it. They they're almost like the unofficial arm of the intelligence agencies. That's my understanding, Warren. Am I right on that?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. The CIA is basically, if you look at the CIA, their propaganda arm, shall we say, is the National Endowment for Democracy, and it's the same with George Soros and all his loonies across the world.
It's crazy, isn't it? Well,
Yeah.
my biggest story of the day, Trump did his big speech yesterday. A lot of excitement around it. Well, he's announced the US Space Command has chosen Huntsville, Alabama as its permanent headquarters. After years of review, officials say the city stood out for its military readiness, strategic location, and cost efficiency. Already home to Redstone Arsenal and a skilled aerospace workforce, Huntsville beat out several competitors. Supporters, including President Trump and Alabama lawmakers, say the move will save nearly $500 million and strengthen national defense. Local leaders are celebrating what they call a major victory for Alabama and for America's future in space.
Wow, that's quite something. Something else that's quite something is go over to Germany now. Now, in a place called Westphalia, something very strange has happened, which bookmakers, these people who work out these things, say the odds of it happening are 14 billion to 1. Which is higher odds, well, I should say higher odds than actually winning a national lottery. Six people standing for election, 13 days before the election, standing for election in Westphalia for the AfD, which is the party that obviously Merz and the rest don't want to get in, have all suddenly died. We've got sudden death, unexpected, kidney failure, a suicide there. Quite incredible that these people, and you can see the locations there and the ages, one or two you might expect, but there was four, then there was six. This team's a very, very odd thing. Their names are already printed on those ballot papers. So as far as we are aware, the odds of this happening are absolutely zero. So now there is a full investigation going on.
Wow. So, looking at that from the outside, foul play, Warren? Is that your gut feeling?
Certainly somebody's up to something there because the odds of that happening are almost zero. It's like a freak 300-foot wave. It just doesn't happen.
Wow. Well, on to my next story. And Warren, I know this is a story you've been following. The US House Oversight Committee has released the first batch of the so called Epstein files, more than 33,000 pages linked to convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Chairman James Comer subpoenaed the documents after the FBI and Justice Department said Epstein kept no client list. Democrats and some Republicans have accused President Trump of a cover up, while Comer has promised full transparency and pledged to release more files soon. Epstein died in a New York jail in 2019 while awaiting trial on sex trafficking charges. But there's no point in getting too excited. I've seen some of the documents. They are redacted to the heavens. Anything of real substance.
Yeah, absolutely. There's no point releasing them, but there is more information in the stuff that is already out there than these. It looks like a 12-year-old's been at these documents with a Sharpie pen. It's just completely pointless. And the people who are making a big thing of this, once again, like the last release, Paul, it's a complete waste of time.
It's a sad thing, isn't it? When really this is one of the biggest things we've been waiting for, but it's almost like they're toying with us now.
It just erodes trust in whichever department is sort of meant to be looking after those things. And at the end of the day, we all want to see a resolution to this because this is young girls that are vulnerable. Now it doesn't matter whether we're in the UK or in the USA. You want them to be safe, and if you want them to be safe, you need to put these people that are being protected by the deep state, whoever they may be, to be put away. Simple as that. Um, Getting on to this, somebody who is protecting his people, whether you like it or not, Ibrahim Traore has decided that all pride and LGBTQ is completely outlawed in his country. He has put stop to any trans, any gay parades, any pride flags, anything like that being flown in schools will lead you to immediate arrest and a possible sentence of up to 15 years.
Wow, this guy is just, dare I say it, doing wonders for his country. It's
Yeah.
phenomenal what he's doing. From my perspective of this, he is blocking outside Western influence that could destabilize his country.
Absolutely, absolutely. And the beauty of it, his actual polling numbers amongst his people are off the charts. They are the highest anywhere in the world. Uh, Strangely enough, with Vladimir Putin coming in third place. Would you?
Crazy. Well, my next story, and if it couldn't get worse for Europe, it just did. Europe has just lost its gas lifeline. Russia, China, and Mongolia have signed a binding deal for the Power of Siberia 2 pipeline, a $13.6 billion project that will redirect 50 billion cubic meters of gas each year from Siberia to northern China. For decades, this supply powered German industry and the wider EU. Now it's being hardwired east. The agreement not only shifts global energy flows, but marks the end of Europe's era of cheap Russian gas, while cementing Beijing as Moscow's new anchor customer. Well, guess what? All this focusing on renewable energy and all the rest of it hasn't done us any good. Our bills are still going up. We should have been focused on gas. We should have been focused on cheap energy. But, well, Europe's paying the price for it now.
Yeah, absolutely, and I have to concur with this, and I'd like to add my own little bit to this. If we hadn't have been so busy hating the Russians for absolutely no good reason, we'd still be getting cheap energy, cheap gas. Many people's energy bills have gone up. Some have gone up a lot. Some have gone up huge amounts. But industry bills have gone up through the roof. Now, what they've done is they've signed a 30-year deal here, and obviously nobody's going to be able to overthrow the government of Mongolia because you've got Russia on one side, China on the other, and Kazakhstan on the other. Good luck with that. National Endowment for Democracy or CIA. And the problem that we have, Paul, of course, is that every bit of energy that was coming to Europe is now going to China. So no matter what nonsense they press India for, and they are still buying, Europe is still buying the gas under the table by a roundabout route. It's going to India. India have said, well, don't buy it, but it'll go by another route, even if it doesn't go by India. This is all for show. It can go by Kazakhstan. It can go by many, many other routes. And of course, we'll be paying America 4 times the amount for it. This is bizarre beyond belief, Paul.
Yeah, it is, Warren. But we all know the West is falling. The corruption is gotten so bad that, I hate to say it, we've destroyed ourselves by every person who's kept quiet, who hasn't stood up and said, this is wrong. And you've kept your heads down, and this is where we are now. And we have to stop the corruption. It is stopping. The world is waking up to it. And hopefully it wakes up before the, as we say, the gates of hell. But that is a story for another time. Warren, what else have you got?
I think you're absolutely right. Well, I want to touch on this nonsense. It is beginning. There are protests all around the world to do with immigration and everything else. I'm just going to show you this video. It's not a very nice one, but this is an immigrant trying to steal a mobile phone. As you can see there, and as you can see, being assaulted. Well, the Japanese have gone completely crazy. They are all out on the streets, literally protesting left, right, and centre. And there's no doubt that immigrants around the world, legal or otherwise, are causing a huge problem for various places. And of course, the people who have been under the toughest sanctions of all, people like Hungary, who are not letting them in, Paul.
Yeah, yeah, it's crazy. They're all getting slated, but actually their countries are more safer than ours.
They are.
And how people have stopped listening to their own internal common sense soul is baffling. It's baffling. It shows that some people, dare I say it, are soulless and they're just robots to be programmed. Who
I think.
knows? Well, I've got a good news story here. China has announced a visa-free travel for Russian citizens starting September the 15th in a one-year trial program. The policy will allow Russians to visit China for up to 30 days for tourism. The move was revealed during President Putin's visit for the Shanghai Cooperation Summit, and officials say it reflects the deepening ties between Moscow and Beijing. Travel demand surged immediately after the announcement, with flight and hotel searches from Russia doubling overnight. And this is amazing, Warren, because I don't know if anyone's seen the videos or the photos of this summit, but when you see Putin, Xi Jinping, and Kim Jong Un all standing side by side, that's a scary, powerful team that have all aligned themselves.
It is quite incredible, isn't it, to see them all standing alongside? And of course, Ukraine have sort of got a different view of that. They've turned around and said, "Oh, look, there's only Russian and Chinese there." Well, that's absolute nonsense. Of course, it looks absolutely fantastic. Everybody's getting along, and if we had any hope, the problem that we have, Taiwan has decided to take a visit to the Philippines regarding the shoal, of course, that they are all fighting over, and many of these weapons are being pointed on these islands in the Philippines, being pointed at Taiwan to stop the Chinese from interfering. Now, the Taiwan foreign minister has gone to speak to the Philippines about a joint exercise, and this, of course, has annoyed the Chinese like you wouldn't believe. Do keep an eye on this for late 2027. This is going to keep building over the next year or two until the next elections in Taiwan, January of 2028.
Wow. And my last story, Warren. In the UK, free speech is under heavy scrutiny, with data showing up to 30 people arrested daily for online posts, retweets, or cartoons. Laws written long before social media allow authorities to charge citizens for grossly offensive or menacing content. Cases range from private WhatsApp messages to minor social media posts, leaving ordinary people like a Chester businesswoman detained for 36 hours over a post she had deleted. Critics warn the crackdown is sweeping and unprecedented, sparking fears over civil liberties. And you wonder why our prisons are full, Warren.
Yeah, it's quite incredible. The nonsense that is happening in Germany, that is happening in Great Britain and many other countries, just go to show that every country that we say is not free and democratic, we're the ones that are not free and democratic, Paul.
I couldn't agree more, Warren. And on that bombshell, thanks for watching the news you missed. Today is the 3rd of September 2025. It's flying along. We're starting to see even more changes happening across the world, and most of them for the better. They are taking out the corruption. It might not look it because, quite frankly, I live in the UK and I think we're one of the most corrupt countries going, but there is hope. So take care. God bless. See you all soon. Bye now.
Bye bye.